Jean Greger is one of the first high-profile female scuba instructor trainers in the United States. Jean's love of the water started early. As a child, she spent summers at her grandparents' resort on Lake Michigan, escaping the Chicago heat. Here she learned to swim and breath-hold dive even without a mask. She also experimented with buoyancy control devices. After graduating from the University of Michigan and completing a business course at Radcliffe, Jean headed to San Francisco to accept her first job as a travel writer for the Pacific Area Travel Association in 1962. In the spring of 1963, when recreational diver training was in its infancy, Jean enrolled in a diving course taught by Ed Brawley. The course was exhaustive, with pool sessions lasting approximately 12 weeks. Her training included exercises to test a student's strength, stamina, and ability to perform under stress. But as was common at the time, Jean's formal scuba training with Brawley didn't include ocean dives. So the next step was to join the San Francisco Skin Diving Club. The club arranged for the more experienced divers to take newcomers on a checkout dive. Recalling her first ocean experience, Jean says, "I was lucky. My first dive was on a beautiful, calm, clear day in the kelp forest off Monastery Beach in Carmel. I came out of the water so thrilled by the experience that I was sure I wanted diving in my life forever." After that, Jean's new mission in life was to recruit everyone she knew into diving. In trying to get others to take up diving, she became aware that most people thought diving was too difficult, uncomfortable, and risky. Given the diving equipment and the teaching methods of the day, plus the fact that California's water is cold, Jean had to admit they were right in many respects. Soon after her first few dives, Jean became involved in Ed's business and began teaching under his guidance, but never settling for the status quo. Jean and Ed frequently discussed the need for better diver training, eventually drafting an easier way people could learn to dive. Ed wanted to grow his dive store business, and Jean wanted to share the underwater experience with as many people as possible. By the mid-1960s, Jean and Ed had a step-by-step diver course that was fun. It was the antithesis of the old-style militaristic methods that emphasized strength testing, endurance, and eliminating students who couldn't survive the course. Along with their new scuba course, Jean and Ed realized that diving needed a parallel development in better equipment to make it easier and more fun. Not wanting to limit diving only to those who were athletes, they began work with manufacturers on new designs for buoyancy compensators. As Ed Brawley's dive stores began to expand to multiple locations, his immediate challenge was to staff his stores with instructors. Wanting the courses standardized, Ed looked to Jean to capture the course on paper. During 1968 and 69, Jean wrote word for word the scripts for classroom lectures, pool exercises, and ocean classes. Later, these outlines became the backbone for Brawley's Professional Diving Instructor College, or PDIC as it became known. Jean co-authored PDIC's instructor training curriculum and taught the courses at the college from 1970 to 1974. Over the years, material from this initial landmark instructor training curriculum found its way into other standardized instructor programs. All PDIC's graduates were special to Jean, yet one graduate from a 1971 program stood out from all the rest: her husband, Richard Gallagher. Together, they opened another chapter in both of their lives and diving careers. In 1976, the couple started their own dive center, Marin Skin Diving School in San Rafael, California. Together, they also own and operate Beach Hopper 2, a day dive boat in Monterey, and lead diving trips in California and around the world. Although Jean and Richard shifted their focus to their growing business, Jean continued to stay interested in the industry as a whole and diver training in particular. When SSI decided to write their own open water diver manual in the late 1980s, Jean consulted on it and was one of the technical editors. Today, she continues to assist SSI in that capacity. Currently, Jean is rediscovering the joys of snorkeling, leaving scuba behind and free diving with dolphins and whales. Jean, congratulations on your 2003 DEMA Reaching Out Award. Thanks for your efforts in making diving something the world can enjoy.